All right, all right. Welcome everyone to another episode of Visiblepreneur. I'm Isiah, and this session is going to be important one for you new upcoming artists that's out there. So today I have with me Shaun Goulden. He lives in North London, so it goes to show you we're definitely getting around the world. So Shaun, you're officially our first guest, so thank you for coming on Visiblepreneur all the way from London. So please tell us what is it you do and how did you get started?
Isaiah, thank you very much. It's a great pleasure, first of all, for you inviting me on the show. I'm really, really grateful. I love what you're doing, and I wish you all the success with everything.
Oh, thank you.
Actually from the north of England, not from London. Nothing wrong with London, mind, but yeah, I'm from the north of England, which is about 4 hours away. So yeah, well, I need to set that straight because there is a big north-south divide, of course, in the UK. so
Ah,
yeah, but yes, I am a music publicist. I work with bands and artists. I am just starting out. One thing I want to really set the record down here is that you're not to be afraid of just starting out in anything, whether it's in music, whether it's in business, in anything. I am
yeah.
just out in the music publishing world. I have got experience of 15 years in the industry, but in this particular area, I am just starting.
Oh, yeah. Wow. That is awesome. So, yeah, like I said, I would have never thought we'd reach a guest from all the way in London, I should say,
North
and
England,
North England, right? Yeah. See,
London.
I don't know. I keep defaulting to that, so I do apologize. So it's North
It's okay.
England.
I can be from London. I can be from London.
All right, that is awesome. And so our time differences are definitely different because you're 6 hours ahead of me. Is that right?
That's right. Yes, yes, that's right. It's nice. It is. It is 6 degrees Celsius. 9:30 of the evening. I don't think that really matters to a podcast. You'll be listening anytime, anywhere in the world, I guess. But yes, it's definitely dark.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right. So now I wanted to ask this. This is where we're gonna dive into an artist that wants to get out there and basically, get their stuff published. So, what is
Hmm.
the process of an artist that wants to publish their music?
Well, first of all, I think it's very important that from a band's point of view, if anything should be really run as a business, whether it's a band, whether it's a soccer team, whether anything that involves money organization, it should be run as a business. So what's more very important here is that when you're starting out in a band, or even when you're in a band already, it's important that every single band member is in alignment with one another. You don't all have to have the same visions and goals. Well, the goals maybe, but if everybody knows what everybody is about in the band, everybody knows what they're wanting to achieve, where they're wanting to take the level of band, what venues, gigs, etc. They want to play,
Yeah.
then that everybody a good understanding and being able to put a business plan in place to be able to go forward for the maximum potential of that band. So it's really important to know. This is coming back from experience. When I was involved managing a band back some 10 years ago now, we didn't have this in place. So two of the band members wanted to play venues. Three of the band members wanted to play pubs because they got paid. So there was always this big sort of every time we played a venue, three of the band members wasn't happy, and every time we played pubs, two members wasn't happy. There was no vision, there was no goal, there was no agreement. And that's very, very important for any artist out there is to be able to have an agreement. Agreement versus expectation is massive. You need to really need to sort that out before you start off with a band, or if you're in a band, sit down, talk about it. Right, where do we want to go with this? How are we going to get there? What do we want to achieve out of it? Right, let's go forward with a plan to make that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. It's basically getting the goals in line first and see where everybody wants to go. And then once everybody is a team player, then
Yeah,
they all go together.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And, I feel like there's probably some people out there that may not know that. So hopefully they tune in and get this
Yeah,
right here. So
and that's right. Right.
that is awesome. So would you say that it is best to publish a song that is an original, or something that the artist has just written, it's never been heard before? So give us your thoughts on that.
Well, that sort of goes straight back to the first question, because if you've got a plan in place and an agreement in place, of maybe dropping some covers in there, then that is absolutely fine to do so. If you just want to record your own music and play your own music, that is absolutely fine. If it's in the, if it's in alignment with the agreements and goals set out right from the very beginning. So it's
Mhm.
absolutely fine to do covers, even if you want to record covers, as long as you've got permission from the person who owns the IP. Um, it's absolutely fine to do. Is whatever your passion is. It's whatever you want to achieve out of it. And there's no, everybody's different. Nobody's, it's not a right or wrong answer.
Yeah, yeah, no, that is very good to know, because there can be a misconception sometimes of, you know I think it's like what people think they want to hear, or what is it, they know that they're gonna want to hear. So
Well, it's eh, everybody's different. Everybody's unique. For a band out there, if you go with what you feel is right. If you're writing music, you're unique to the industry. Go with your heart, and strive forward and make sure that you are achieving your goals within that. But don't be afraid to stand out. Don't be afraid to be different from everybody else, because I mean that's a story right back with Eminem. Of course, everybody knows the story of Eminem. He was going up. He was a white man in Detroit going up against black rappers, but nobody ever did
yeah,
that. It was so out of his depth. But guess what? He was unique. He did it. He believed in himself. He did not sit down. He was knocked back and knocked back and knocked back, but he did not give up. And look where he is today.
yeah, yeah,
Everybody has to start somewhere. So anybody listening to this who thinks that they've got no chance, believe in yourself. It's so important to believe in yourself. Don't let rejection put you down. Keep on going.
yes, I love that. And that doesn't just go with music, that goes with anything that's walks of life, whether you're in business for
Yep.
yourself, depends on what you're doing. Just don't lose that faith, please.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's so important. If you look at the top 1% of successful people in this world, they will all tell you the same thing. I actually recommend that. Well, in the last 6 months, I've been working with a high performance coach, and I think for artists, it's really important that they study high performance, because high performance succeed. Like I said, they are 1% of people, and uh, and they really know what it takes to be successful. And it comes down to believing in yourself. Don't let rejection put you down. Practice it all the time. And another thing that's really important as well is that do what you hate to do first. There's all in bands, all around the world, there's always something that they hate doing,
Hmm.
whether it's the tiny little gig at the end of the street, whether it's doing radio interviews, whether it's busking, whatever it is. Do them jobs that you hate doing, because you never know. One day you might look back and think, I'd love to do that again.
Yes, absolutely. Because as I went through this one program NLP, and they're basically saying the same thing, and this boils down to limiting beliefs, you know.
Absolutely. Well, you remember as well that success leaves clues.
Yes, yeah, you're 100% right on that one.
Yeah, it certainly does.
That is awesome. So, and I wanted to mention this because you did mention earlier about paying the royalties. So, as you did mention that, why is it important that artists, for ones that do original songs that were written by, I'm just gonna throw out a random name out there, by Billy Joe, and they're doing something like that, and people like it. So, why is it that paying royalties is important, and how can they avoid being sued?
Well, I am not anywhere. I'm not a legal representative, so it's pretty hard for me to sort of comment on any legal issue. Google is your friend. People know what's right and what is wrong. When it comes down to royalties, if you're going to put a record out there that involves somebody else's copyright or somebody else's royalties, then you need to get that right. That is one thing for sure, because you don't want anybody coming back and biting you in the butt cheeks later on down the line. But there is people out there that can help you with advice on legal side of things in the music industry. It's a big market, and just be careful if you're wanting to go down the route of using someone else's material. Then you need everything in place. When it comes down to your own original music, it is another really important fact that, well, it's not really an important fact. It can pay for new recording of albums, or
Yeah.
new or tours or anything like that. So it's really, I would suggest getting some, like, a PRS license, registering onto there. So then, if your music does get played on the radio or on TV commercials, or even if you're going out gigging in venues, you will get paid royalty rights for playing your music. So, what nice way to get a little bit more of a kickback uh, from doing what you love. And then, obviously, if you make it famous as well, or you make it onto the big stage, then your royalties go up each year. Mariah Carey is absolutely laughing her head off at Christmas time. I'm sure she loves it when. So does Noddy Olden.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And right now, if she does happen to listen to this, so hello, Mariah Carey, first of all, and yeah, she is sitting pretty, as we all know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is awesome. So, and now I wanted to ask this because, um, again, sometimes limited beliefs can fall under this. So, if an artist wants to perform in a venue, whether that's small, large, or they want to get on the big stage, what is the process of doing so?
Well, back to the first question again. You need to be in alignment with one another. The band needs to be working tight together. Practice all the time, as much as you can, to perfect your stage presence. Start off really in your local pub. I know it's a little bit hard now in these times, but they're not going to be around for forever. Hopefully not. And obviously this podcast is going out as well, so this could be heard from years to come.
Yeah.
Start off with you're not going to make it. You're not going to sit a band down together, do your agreements and everything, and the next minute playing Wembley Arena or the Super Bowl. It's a process. It's like any business. I go back to it again with business. It start off slow, you start off small. You gain momentum. You get bigger. You look after your fans. You create a connection with your fans. You make more phone calls. Do something. One of the best things is do something to achieve your goals daily. You can do you can ring one venue, one pub per day. as long as you've done something towards that goal, then you're just going to gain momentum, and you're just going to carry on and carry on and carry on, and you're going to before long, hopefully, if you're standing out, then you're going to be wanted to play at these bigger venues, because ultimately venues really they're interested in the bands that are playing there, the artists that are playing there, but they're also interested in how many butts they can get through the door. So if you've got a big following, then you're more likely to be able to play bigger and better venues. But to get a big following, the hard work comes in right at the very beginning, when you're answering people's emails, answering people's DMs on Facebook, YouTube, etc., creating a connection with the audience. So start your business plan and how you means to go on, how you're going to connect with people, how you're going to achieve your goals.
Yes, absolutely. I love that. Because again, like you said, the goals they have to be aligned with your beliefs. You know,
Absolutely.
they just have to. And so I want to ask you this because there could be some kind of thing where it's like, okay, they're in certain genres, or maybe might not. So, do you work with certain genres, or tell us more about that?
I work with anybody that believes in themselves. I work with there is a few genres that I don't really work with, but not to say that I don't know somebody in the industry that does. So it's really, I use it as a networking tool. So if I hear something that's not particularly for me, but I know somebody that it's going to work for, I'll happily pass on the details. Absolutely no problem at all. So it's I'm not one of these music publishers that are just in it for the money. I'm in it for the passion, and I'm in it for the enjoyment, and I'm in it to be able to take bands, artists up to another level, which
Yeah,
is really important. It's really important as well, because a lot of people are just in it, right? How much can I make out of these? How much can I make out of them? How much can I? It's not, you know, part of my cut from what my fees are. I put back in 25% into the artist, so it shows that I'm not in it for a quick buck. I'm in it for a long ride. But I've got it. It's got to be in it with the right people. You know, you could have a band that's absolutely brilliant, that's absolutely awesome. They're not in a line. They think that they should be famous straight away as soon as they put the pen on the paper. It ain't gonna work, and there's absolutely no point going anywhere any further forward until that's sorted out.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. 100% right about that. So yeah, that's good to know. So, and part of that question I also want to ask is that, how do you know when an artist approaches you with a certain genre, or whatever it is that they want to play, is qualified to perform anywhere on or off stage? Like, let's say they come in to, if you had a studio setup and you listen to them play, and how would you know that this could be potential, or maybe this could not be potential?
Well, it's now it's if they've got it, and I don't know what it is, but I know when they've got it. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's the same. It's the same again. It depends. It depends on what whether they're unique, how hard they are working. Um, yeah, it's a bit of a tough one. It's a bit of a tough one, that, because yeah, I won't normally find myself in that situation where they'd just be coming into a studio. I won't be auditioning people. I don't audition people. It's not like the X Factor, you know. It's
yeah,
more, the process for me is that I normally get a sample track played. Let's see if I can get a connection with it. You know, if I can I've got a real good ear for music, and I get a connection with it, then I start looking down their social media avenues, see what they're like as individuals, and then I'd go on to asking about the goals and see whether they're in alignment, what they want to achieve, because again, I'm not one of these people that my business is not one of these that say, right, okay, I'm going to take your record and I'm going to put it here, 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 and then we're going to be doing this, this, and this. So, well, hang on a minute, I don't want to do that, and that. My goals are I want to be able to write and record this music for films. You know,
Yeah.
all right. Hey, so it's right. So as soon as everything in the previous questions are filled out, then we can really go forward as a team, as a partnership. It's like I said before, like in business, if you've got 5-piece band, they're a business. There are 5 partners in a business. If I come along and join that, then I'm the 6th partner. I'm not a boss. I'm not a manager. I'm not going to tell them what to do. It's in alignment with what their goals and objectives are.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I definitely love that. So, and then this probably may boil back to a few other questions that I've also asked, but uh, so do you think the person performing on stage believe that band members and themselves should be practicing all day and night to perform well on the stage? This can go for somebody who is big time in the music world or someone that's starting out. So, do you think that they should be able to hit every single note so that way they don't look bad? And, give us your advice on that.
It's very, very important that you make mistakes. You only
Mhm.
learn by mistakes. Um, when you're doing a live performance, anything can happen on stage. Anything. We've done it before when I've been in a band, and they've got the song absolutely wrong. They've absolutely ballsed it up,
Was it a
and
tire song or just part of it?
just part of it. But
Ah,
the recovery process from that was absolutely mind blowing. How them lads on that stage pulled it together and worked as a team and got it back was absolutely awesome. It shows massive achievement, and from that gained a lot of respect for one another, even more than what they already had. So it's really important to fail. It's even more important to dust yourself down and get back up, find out what you failed on, and work on it, build on it, and make yourself stronger from it. So live performances, it's not really important to get every note bang on. It's not every it's not important to have the vocals absolutely on key. You know,
yeah.
it's the human beings in the day. Human beings make mistakes. I've had it, for instance, where the lead singer, his voice in practice used to squeak on a long note, and it used to go up. God, it used to go up so many octaves, and we'd all fall around laughing in the practice room. And it never happened. It was taken very lightly because it was just one of those things. It never happened in the band on stage until one night, and I was stood in front of the band, and I was just drinking a pint of Guinness actually, and
Ooh,
he, sta-
getting
he,
down, I
sta-
see.
he started singing, and his voice squeaked, and I had to hold my pint in front of my face for at least a minute because everybody was looking at me in the band, and if I didn't contain myself, that they would have fallen in bits. So
Oh,
you have to do what you have to do at the time to make things as good as what it can be. And in my case, it was holding a pint in front of my
I love that. 'Cause
mouth.
see, it goes to show you could just have fun anywhere. So as you were literally holding that pint of Guinness in front of them, you just didn't want them to see you laugh. Am
I,
I right?
I had to keep the pint in my mouth as if I was drinking it, and my hand was shaking. The bass player saw me, and he was really trying hard to contain himself, and he did. But if I'd have cracked, if I'd have just let that pint go down, that would have been it. They would have been on the floor, and nobody else would have known what the hell was going on. But it was the thing. It was having fun. It was the younger days in my career in the music. We had fun. And that's what a lot of it's about as well. You don't take it you take it seriously because it's you're professional at it. But yeah, you got to have your fair share of fun with it.
Yes, absolutely. I love that, especially that right there. Because
Yeah,
this actually reminds me of a time that I know this was on the news channel. I forget which one, and there was an artist that she was literally on stage performing drunk. And again, I don't remember the person's name, and probably best not to say it because I'm sure that they've recovered long, long after that. But
yeah,
can you imagine? There's just dozens of fans just like boo, boo. Everybody's booing her. She's missing her parts. Uh,
yeah.
it's almost crazy. And even though people have gotten their money back, but at the same time, it's kind of hilarious that it
It
happened.
was. I did myself with our keyboard player. We was in a venue in the north of England, and we'd been out watching soccer. It's soccer in America. I'll get to the right terminology.
Oh,
Uh,
football.
yeah, we was watching
Yeah.
football. I think it was a World Cup. I think one of the World Cups was on, and the keyboard player had overindulged on the alcohol before the gig, and he was just making an absolute arse of himself. And I took it upon myself because I was doing the sound engineering at the same time. Uh, I took it upon myself to go up to the stage and remove him. And he was very, very, very embarrassed about himself. But the same thing, he learned from that. He learned that he was in a band that was very, very well respected. He learned he was in a band that was very professional, and he let the team down in respect. So it didn't happen again.
Oh yeah, yeah, and it goes to show you that he actually did recover from that, and I'm pretty sure that was one of those moments where, oh, I got a kick in the ass, and I'm straight. I'm
Yeah,
straight.
but we absolutely ripped him for months after it as well. Yeah, it was that side of things, that's why we was all good as a team, because although it was quite serious, but as a rock and roll type of thing, it was quite probably well up there with with a rock and roll story. I got removed off stage by my manager because I was too drunk, but he got severely punished every single week after that. It was awesome.
So I know that's probably one of your, or I should say, one of the horror stories right there. 'Cause
Oh no, there's many of them, but there's only a few that's probably illegally allowed to be aired.
yeah, yeah. Because I was gonna ask what was the horror story that you've experienced, but that pretty
Well,
much just covered it there.
yeah, there was another one was working with a band, and was down in London,
Hmm.
uh, and from time to time, the lead guitarist decided to have a bit of a joke with the lead singer. So the lead singer had announced a song, and then he'd start playing a different song, which just really showed him up. But it was the same thing. All the lads having a bit of banter. It were very early days of we was very young, and finding his feet with things. But once he did it, and it was a little bit of a laugh, and like, oh, yeah, you've proper through me there. Yeah, I know it was funny. And then about 3 weeks later, he did it again at this gig in London, and he couldn't handle the crowd in front of him, and he couldn't handle the change of music around him. And the only thing he could do was to unplug his guitar and leave. And he
Really?
walked off. He walked off stage, and it was like, oh my god, what do we do now?
Wow.
And the band just had to stop playing. And it was that joke that just went a little bit too far, and that was a real bad point. Uh, a real bad time because we couldn't get the lead singer back on stage, and the crowd was like, "Well, where's he gone?" And we got back in
Wow.
the van and then drove back up to the north of England, and it was very, very quiet all the way back up.
Yeah.
So sometimes a little bit of jokes can go wrong. It's very important that you do respect other people on stage, but have a laugh. It's nice to have a laugh at a joke. It's nice to to travel around and do what you do what you love doing.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Oh man, I can only imagine how that could have went.
It went actually all right. It was same again. It was spoken about a little bit, and then he just got ripped for it after it. So it was all right. But different people, different bands, and different artists are very different on how they work and what people are willing to put up with. So
Yeah, I understanding. All right, so
good days though, very good days, very very good days. Well, which brought me back into whatever I've done. I'm an entrepreneur, and whatever I've done in business, it's always come back to music. Everything's always come back to music. So it's like, why not put my passion and my business skills into place, and do something that I absolutely love, and love working with artists. I love working with music. I love working in the industry, and I do believe with the right people, the right mindset, the right, like I say, the right team, you can go forward and you can move mountains.
yes, I totally agree with you on that there. And one day I'll be traveling out there, and I'll be like, what is Sean up to years later? So I'd hope to see a nice big studio, and
Yeah,
you going far places.
yeah, yes, yeah. That's my goal. Uh, is to have the record label up and running with various bands, artists on there, making a difference in the world as well. Because I think that's very important. Is that a lot of people get lost in fame, a lot of people get lost in the success, and it's really important to be grounded. And in my opinion, it's really important to give back as well. So, if, for example, like with my fees, there's always 5% of my fees that I retain, that goes back into the world, back into the environment, maybe back into other people that's less fortunate than us. So that's really important to think about as well when you're making it big time. Is
Yes,
what can I give back? What can I use my what I've got now on my stage, my platform, my presence? What can I do to help others from my success?
yes, I
That's a
totally,
question got to be asked.
yeah, I totally agree with you on that one. So last but not least, how can upcoming artists that they we want to become known for playing music get in contact with you, and what is the name of your publishing company?
The name of it is Goulden Professional Music. And then my record label is going to be called Von Records. So you can get in contact me at contact@gouldenprofessional.com.
All right, got it. And
Just
we'll
drop me an email. I'm actually on LinkedIn as well. You can find my profile on LinkedIn. So it'll be LinkedIn/Goulden. Also Goulden Professional on Facebook page also.
all right, awesome. I love it. All righty. So with that being said, I hope you actually enjoy this. Sean, thank you so much
I
for
know I'm
being
going
a
to enjoy.
guest.
I know I'm going, and like I said right at the very beginning, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to come on your show. I wish you every success with it. You're a fantastic guy. We've talked a few times now off air, and I really do think you do really well with the podcast. And yeah, thank you very much.
Yes, and thank you so much. So, all right, folks, you've definitely heard it here. So, um, if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe and like our channel, which is Visiblepreneur. Same thing on Facebook. We're also called that. And if you happen to catch us on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, whichever platform you're listening to us, please let us know how we're doing, and you know, please make sure you get in contact with Sean
Thank
for
you
your
very much.
publishing needs. So, with that being said, have a good day or night wherever you're listening to and from, and take care.